tech, but a whole new way of working. The rise of AI agents. Think of this as the moment you can hire your very first digital employee. Let's get right into it. So, to really get why this is such a big deal, let me paint you a picture. Think about your morning, maybe back in 2016. You probably woke up to actual sunlight, maybe the smell of coffee or tea, the sounds of your house waking up. Now, let's jump forward to a morning in 2026. For a lot of us, it starts with that jarring alarm, the immediate glare of the phone screen, and boom, an absolute flood of notifications. The entire world is screaming for your attention before you've even gotten out of bed. And look, the answer to all this digital noise isn't to just throw your phone in a lake and go live in the woods. The solution is what we humans have always done. We build better tools. From the wheel to the calculator, we've always looked for a better helping hand. And this is just the next step in that evolution. And that new helping hand? It's the AI agent. But I gotta tell you, this is a massive leap from the digital assistants we're all used to. We are moving from a world where they just follow our orders to a world where they actually take initiative. I mean, this whole idea isn't exactly new, right? Way back in 1983, there was this thing called Butler in a Box for controlling your home. Then, of course, Siri came along in 2011, then Alexa in 2014. And they were great, but they were all reactive. They waited for you to ask them to do something. What's happening right now is something completely different. So what is an AI agent? Here's the most important thing to understand. It is an autonomous, proactive digital employee. The keywords there are autonomous and proactive. It doesn't just sit there waiting for you to say, "Hey Siri." It can actually make decisions on its own, manage really complex tasks, and it literally works for you 24/7. So stop thinking about a voice assistant and start thinking more like Tony Stark's Jarvis, something that anticipates what you need, makes a plan, and then goes and does it. And that's exactly why we're calling this the 1999 moment for AI. This is not just another software update on your phone. This is a fundamental ground-level shift in how we work, how we build companies, and how we use technology. It is a really rare turning point, and the opportunity here is just massive. Now, this quote from NVIDIA's CEO, man, it just perfectly nails the moment we're in. The fear isn't that AI is coming for your job. The reality is the person who learns how to use AI is going to have a massive advantage. It's becoming absolutely essential just to stay competitive. And then you see this quote, and it just takes that whole idea of leverage to another level. The idea that a tiny team, just 5 people, maybe even one person, could build a $1 trillion company sounds completely insane, right? But when you realize you can have a whole workforce of AI agents, well, suddenly it doesn't sound so crazy anymore. So let me just ask you this, to really let this sink in. Imagine it's 1999. The internet is brand new. Most people think it's a fad, but you just figured out how to build a simple website. Just think about where that one skill could have taken you by today. That is the scale of the opportunity that is sitting right in front of us with AI agents. Okay, so right about now, you're probably thinking, this all sounds amazing, but this has to be just for companies with armies of engineers, right? Well, the best part about all of this is that that's just not true anymore. This is now accessible to pretty much everyone. So what do you actually need to build one? The basic toolkit is way simpler than you'd think. You need an open source platform to build on. You need a secure virtual private server, or a VPS, which is basically like your own private, secure little computer up in the cloud. And honestly, the most important thing you need is your own creativity. You really don't have to be a professional coder to get started with this stuff. Okay, so building is one thing, but how do you actually make money with this? How do you go from a cool weekend project to a real revenue stream? Well, this is where it gets really, really interesting because people are already doing it in a big way. Just look at this number, $8,500. That's not a yearly salary. That's how much one guy, Robbie Houston, made in a single month from an AI agent that he built. This isn't some far-off future prediction. This is literally happening right now. So how in the world did he pull that off? It's an awesome case study. First, he built an AI agent, and he called it Ron. Then Ron set up its own freelance profile on Fiverr. After that, it started scanning TikTok comments, looking for people who were talking about problems it could solve. And finally, it built its own sales system to turn those people into actual paying customers. The agent did all of that on its own. It's wild.
And Robbie's story is just one way to do it. There are a ton of clear paths here. You could build messaging bots for small businesses who are totally overwhelmed with DMs on social media. You could go into big companies and design automated workflows that save their teams tons of time on boring, repetitive tasks. Or you could go even bigger and build entire teams of agents for companies that need to scale up but can't afford to hire more people. And that right there leads us to the real future of all of this. See, we're not just talking about hiring your first digital employee. We're talking about building your own digital workforce. And that is where the true power of this is going to be unlocked. I mean, check out this story about Banu Teja. It's just incredible. He's running a business from a village in India that brings in $8,000 a month. And his team, he is the one and only human founder. The rest of his business is run by a team of 16 specialized AI agent employees. And this is basically what that looks like in practice. You can set it up just like a real company. You can have a head agent that acts as the manager, coordinating everything. And under that agent, you have all your specialists, a developer agent, a customer service agent, a content writer, a social media manager, each one an expert at its job, all working together perfectly 24/7.
All right, so let's boil all this down. What are the big things you need to remember? First, AI agents are proactive employees, not just reactive assistants. Second, the time to learn how to build is right now. This is our 1999 moment. Third, you can make real money with this by building agents that solve real problems for people. And finally, the big picture future isn't about one agent, it's about building entire digital teams. So in the end, it really all comes down to this. Pretty soon, everyone is going to be using these automation tools in some way. The real difference is going to be simple. Most people will just be users, but a much smaller group of people will be the ones who actually know how to build with them. So the only question left is, which one are you going to be?